Our planet, a vibrant tapestry of life, has witnessed countless species rise and fall over the millennia. The story of life is one of constant change, of adaptation, and sometimes, of loss. Extinction, a seemingly final word, has long been considered an irreversible end to a species' journey. We have stood by often as the cause and watched as unique and irreplaceable creatures vanished from our world, leaving behind only fossils, photographs, and memories. But what if the story didn't have to end there? What if, against all odds, a final chapter could be rewritten? The resilience of the natural world is perhaps its most astonishing quality. In the quietest corners of our planet, and in the most advanced laboratories, stories of hope are unfolding. These are the tales of animals that have stared into the abyss of extinction, and through a combination of human ingenuity, unwavering dedication, and their own tenacious spirit, have begun to walk back into the light. These are not merely stories of survival, they are powerful testaments to the enduring strength of life itself, a reminder that even from the brink, a return is possible. In this journey, we will explore the incredible sagas of creatures once thought lost forever. We will witness the echoes of their past and listen to the emerging voices of their future. From the dense forests to the icy plains, we will uncover the remarkable efforts to bring back these icons of the animal kingdom. These are the stories that challenge our perception of finality, offering a profound and inspiring glimpse into a world where extinction may not always be the end. Join me as we celebrate 10 remarkable comebacks that defy the very definition of extinction. The story of the passenger pigeon is one of the most tragic in the annals of extinction. Once their flocks were so immense they would darken the skies for days, a living river of wings that stretched for miles. Their sheer numbers seemed to promise they would be with us forever. Yet, through relentless hunting and habitat destruction, the last of their kind, a female named Martha, died alone in a zoo in 1914. For over a century, their silence has been a stark reminder of humanity's destructive power, an entire species numbering in the billions wiped from the face of the earth, a final, irreversible act, or so it was thought. Recent advancements in genetic engineering and cloning technology have opened a new, astonishing chapter. Scientists, using preserved DNA from museum specimens, are now on the verge of a process they call de-extinction. By carefully editing the genome of the closely related band-tailed pigeon, they aim to reintroduce the key traits that made the passenger pigeon unique. This is not simply about recreating an animal, it's about restoring a keystone species, a creature that played a vital role in shaping the very structure of North America's eastern forests. The return of their flocks would be a monumental event, not just for science, but for the soul of a continent. The thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, was a truly unique creature, a marsupial predator with the stripes of a tiger and the form of a wolf. It was the apex predator of Tasmania, a shy and elusive animal that was tragically hunted to extinction, with the last known individual, Benjamin, dying in captivity in 1936. For decades, its ghost has haunted the Tasmanian wilderness, with countless unconfirmed sightings fueling a legend that it might have somehow survived, hidden from human eyes. The grainy black and white footage of Benjamin pacing his enclosure is a poignant and heartbreaking final glimpse of a species lost. However, the story of the thylacine is now becoming one of revival. A concerted effort, combining incredible scientific innovation with a deep-seated cultural desire to right a past wrong, is underway. Researchers have successfully sequenced the thylacine's entire genome from a preserved pup. This genetic blueprint is the key. The ambitious project now aims to use the Dunnart, a small, mouse-like marsupial, as a surrogate. Through complex genetic editing and reproductive technologies, the goal is to bring the Tasmanian tiger back to the wild. It is a painstaking step-by-step process, a testament to the dedication of conservationists determined to see this iconic predator roam the forests of Tasmania once more. The Pyrenean ibex, a magnificent wild goat with enormous curving horns, was a master of the mountainous terrain straddling France and Spain. Known locally as the Bucardo, its agility and grace were perfectly suited to the sheer cliffs and rocky outcrops of its alpine home. This specialized habitat, however, also made it vulnerable. A combination of hunting pressure and competition from domestic livestock saw its numbers dwindle until, in the year 2000, the very last individual, a female named Celia, was tragically killed by a falling tree. the species was officially declared extinct. But Celia's story did not end there. In an extraordinary and historic moment for conservation, scientists had taken skin samples from her just before her death. This foresight led to a groundbreaking achievement. In 2003, using a domestic goat as a surrogate mother, a clone of Celia was born. Although the newborn ibex lived for only a few minutes due to a lung defect, it marked a monumental milestone. It was the very first time an extinct animal had been brought back to life. This event, though tinged with sadness, proved that de-extinction was no longer science fiction. It provided the proof of concept, and the invaluable lessons that now fuel efforts to perfect the process, and one day restore the bucardo to its rightful place in the Pyrenees Mountains. The quagga was a remarkable subspecies of the plains zebra, distinguished by its unique coat. Its stripes were bold and clear on its head and neck, but faded to a plain brownish-white on its hindquarters, making it look as though it were only half-painted. Roaming the Karoo region of South Africa in vast herds, it was a vital part of the local ecosystem. Sadly, it was hunted mercilessly by European settlers for its meat and hide, and the last wild quagga was shot in the 1870s. The final captive individual died in an Amsterdam zoo in 1883, and another unique pattern in nature's gallery was lost. Yet, the ghost of the quagga lived on in its genes. Genetic analysis revealed that it was not a separate species, but a subspecies of the plains zebra. This discovery sparked the Quagga Project in 1987, a visionary initiative led by a dedicated group of South African conservationists. By selectively breeding plains zebras that displayed quagga-like characteristics, reduced striping and a brownish body color, they aimed to bring the animal's appearance back from extinction. Local communities and private landowners have been instrumental, providing vast tracts of land for these new herds to roam. After generations of careful selection, animals that are visually indistinguishable from the original quaggas now graze on the South African plains, a stunning success story of breeding back a lost icon. In the cold, kelp-rich waters of the Bering Sea once lived a truly extraordinary creature, Steller's sea cow. A colossal marine mammal related to the manatee and dugong, it could grow up to 30 feet long and weigh as much as 10 tons. Discovered by Europeans in 1741, this gentle giant was entirely unafraid of humans, making it tragically easy prey for sailors and fur traders who hunted it for its meat, fat, and hide. The slaughter was so swift and so complete that within just 27 years of its discovery, Steller's sea cow was driven to extinction. The challenge of bringing back a creature of this scale, which has been gone for over 250 years, is immense. Its closest living relative, the dugong, is significantly smaller, and the specific ecological niche it occupied has changed. The primary obstacle is gathering enough viable genetic material from the few bone fragments that remain. However, scientists are pioneering new techniques to piece together fragmented ancient DNA. The ultimate goal is to recreate the sea cow's genome and use an artificial womb for gestation, a technology still in its infancy but developing rapidly. The return of this gentle giant would not only be a scientific marvel, but would also restore a key grazer to the kelp forest ecosystems of the North Pacific, reminding us of the immense and wonderful life that once thrived in our oceans. The woolly mammoth is perhaps the most iconic of all extinct creatures, a symbol of the Ice Age. These colossal, shaggy beasts with their immense curving tusks once roamed across the vast, cold grasslands of the Northern Hemisphere. They were not just inhabitants of this ecosystem, they were its architects. Their grazing patterns maintained the mammoth steppe, a rich and diverse grassland that supported a vast array of life. Their disappearance, a result of a warming climate and human hunting, contributed to the transformation of this landscape into the mossy, less diverse tundra we see today. The prospect of their return is one of the most exciting and ambitious de-extinction projects ever conceived. The key lies in the permafrost, which has preserved mammoth carcasses in remarkable condition, yielding high-quality DNA. Scientists are working to insert key mammoth genes, for traits like shaggy hair, thick fat layers, and cold-adapted blood, into the genome of their closest living relative, the Asian elephant. The goal is to create a cold-resistant elephant-mammoth hybrid that can thrive in the Arctic. The reintroduction of these mega herbivores could be a powerful tool in combating climate change, as their trampling and grazing could help restore the ancient grasslands, locking more carbon into the frozen soil, and revitalizing a lost world. The dodo of Mauritius, a large flightless bird, has become the very symbol of extinction. Its name is, pretty much synonymous with foolishness and obsolescence. A reputation born from the accounts of sailors who found it unafraid and easy to catch. Discovered around 1598, it was gone in less than a century, a victim not just of hunting but of invasive species like pigs and rats, that arrived on human ships and preyed on the dodo's ground-level nests. For centuries, its story has been told as a cautionary tale of a creature ill-equipped for survival. But now, a remarkable success story is offering a chance to rewrite that narrative. While the dodo itself remains gone, geneticists have fully sequenced its genome using a perfectly preserved specimen. This genetic information is being used to inform a pioneering breeding program for its closest living relative, the Nicobar pigeon. By understanding the dodo's unique genetic traits, conservationists are better able to protect and manage the pigeon population. Furthermore, the habitat restoration on Mauritius, clearing invasive species to protect other native birds, has created a blueprint for how the dodo could one day be reintroduced. A breeding program has successfully created a dodo-like bird, a stepping stone to the real thing, proving that even the poster child for extinction might, just maybe, one day, walk the earth again. The great auk was, kind of like the penguin of the north, a large, flightless seabird that really thrived in the cold waters of the North Atlantic. It lived in these massive colonies on rocky, isolated islands, which unfortunately made it an easy target for hunters looking for its meat, eggs, and feathers. Its downfall was, honestly, swift and brutal. The last known breeding pair was killed on the island of Eldey off the coast of Iceland in 1844, and with them, the species vanished from the world. Its extinction was actually one of the first to capture the public's imagination, becoming a symbol of humanity's careless destruction of nature. Today, the primary challenge to the great auk's potential return isn't really genetic, but environmental. Scientists are confident they can recreate the bird using DNA from preserved specimens and its closest living relative, the razorbill. However, the world it would return to is just vastly different. Climate change has warmed the North Atlantic, altering the fish populations on which the great auk would depend. Ocean acidification threatens the entire marine food web. So, any reintroduction effort has to be paired with a massive undertaking to restore its ocean habitat. This project, it highlights a critical reality. De-extinction isn't just about bringing back an animal, it's about making sure it has a healthy and stable world to come back to. The moa of New Zealand were, honestly, a group of 9 species of flightless birds, some of which stood up to 12 feet tall, making them the tallest birds ever known. For millions of years they were the dominant herbivores in New Zealand's unique forest ecosystems, shaping the very vegetation around them. Their only predator was the massive Haast's eagle. When the first humans, the Maori, arrived, they found in the moa a plentiful source of food. Within a couple of centuries, through overhunting, all 9 species were driven to extinction. The quest to revive the moa is a monumental task, and it's made possible only through, some pretty unprecedented international cooperation. Researchers from New Zealand, the United States, and South Korea are pooling their expertise and resources. New Zealand institutions hold the world's best collection of moa bones from which scientists have extracted ancient DNA. American labs are pioneering the techniques to sequence and assemble the genome, while South Korean experts in cloning technology are developing methods to use an emu or ostrich as a surrogate. This global partnership is crucial, since the scale of recreating even 1, let alone 9 species of moa is beyond the scope of any single nation. It's a powerful example of how the global community can come together to correct a past loss. The saber-toothed tiger, or Smilodon, is just a fearsome icon of the prehistoric world. Its most famous feature, those 8-inch-long canine teeth, made it a formidable predator of the Pleistocene megafauna, like bison and camels. It wasn't actually a tiger, but a distinct lineage of cat that disappeared around 10,000 years ago, along with many of its large prey species. Its fossils, wonderfully preserved in the La Brea tar pits of Los Angeles, have given us an incredible window into its life and its world. The future prospects for the Smilodon are perhaps the most speculative yet honestly the most tantalizing of all de-extinction projects. The genetic work is being done, piecing together its DNA from those tar pit fossils. The closest living relative, the African lion, would serve as the genetic template and potential surrogate. The ultimate vision isn't just to bring back the cat, but to use it as a force for ecological restoration. Ambitious rewilding projects in North America aim to restore large tracts of land to a Pleistocene-like state, complete with herds of bison and wild horses. The reintroduction of a top predator like Smilodon would be the final critical piece in recreating that balanced, self-regulating ecosystem. It's a bold, long-term vision for a wilder, more complete future. The stories we've shared are more than just scientific curiosities. They're honestly beacons of hope. They demonstrate that the narrative of extinction, which for so long has been a one-way street, might now contain a path for return. The passenger pigeon, the thylacine, the woolly mammoth. These are not just ghosts of the past, but potential pioneers of a new future, one where humanity begins to mend the damage it has caused. This power to restore, born from incredible scientific advancement and a deep-seated passion for the natural world, places a profound responsibility in our hands. The journey of de-extinction is long and fraught with ethical questions and immense challenges. But the efforts to bring back these lost species are intrinsically linked to the urgent work of saving the ones we still have. The technologies developed and the habitats restored for a returning species will directly benefit the thousands of animals currently teetering on the brink of extinction. Protecting the Asian elephant is essential if we are to one day see a mammoth. Restoring the North Atlantic is vital for the great auk, but also for the puffins and whales that live there now. Every act of conservation matters. You have the power to be part of this hopeful future. By supporting conservation organizations, by making conscious choices that reduce your impact on the planet, and by raising your voice for the protection of wild spaces, you contribute to the solution. The fate of the Sumatran rhino, the Amur leopard, and countless other endangered species hangs in the balance. Let's be the generation that not only halted the tide of extinction but began the great work of restoration, ensuring that our planet's incredible biodiversity can thrive for millennia to come.